Sticking on the left, this time around further ahead of us from where we are, we get a great view of Portsmouth's Millennium Project. Originally that was going to be called the Millennium Tower, but sadly due to various delays and setbacks, it wasn't complete until 2005. So, obviously, unable to call it the Millennium Tower, they had to rename it and call it the Spinnaker Tower. It also meant the subsequent build costs soon grew. Now, original build cost for the tower is estimated to be somewhere between £6 to £9 million. It's ended up costing £36 million. Don't worry, all was not lost, as on the grand day of opening, the Lord Mayor of Portsmouth decided that he would take the very first trip up the tower in a glass ceiling elevator, one that was located on the outside of one of the legs. He got roughly 2/3 of the way up, and then in front of the world's media ended up getting stuck. In fact, it sit there for 2.5 hours to be lowered down by the local fire brigade. Safe to say, it's never worked since. The elevator has now been removed, but you still can travel from bottom to top using one on the leg. It takes a matter of a few seconds to do so. The tower stands at Gunwharf at a total height of 170 metres, which makes it one of the tallest observation platforms outside of London. Views on a nice clear day of about 26 to 28 miles away. So about to come into view on our right hand side, which is about to go past the town centre of Gosport. Well, despite being so close to Portsmouth, the two are separated by the harbour itself. This means if you wish to drive from, say, Gosport on the right to Portsmouth on the left, you have to drive through the market town of Ferrum, over the hills behind us, and then eventually into the city of Portsmouth. During peak time or heavy traffic, this can take up to an hour in the car. To avoid it, there's a green white ferry, you can see one of which sat alongside on our right. Officially they're known as the Gosport Ferries, and they cut out the 17-mile round trip by road. They advertise it's shorter by water. And in fact, the ferries are proving so popular, carrying 3 million people to and fro every single year. Portsmouth VTS, Alicat, Palace to Gunwharf, please.
Alicat, Portsmouth, VTS, Palace to Gunwharf, please.
Thank you. Okay, folks, we have now gained permission to make our way back over towards the Portsmouth side of the harbour. As we do so, coming into view on our right will be the harbour entrance. This is the only way in and out of Portsmouth for pretty much everything you see today. Now, as you look through the harbour entrance, in the distance you will see the shoreline to the Isle of Wight. In particular, you'll notice the towns of Ryde, St Helens, Bembridge and Seaview. You'll also see between ourselves and the Isle of Wight are 3 sea defence forts. These were built under instruction of Lord Palmerston back in the Victorian era. They were originally designed to help defend Portsmouth from an impending French invasion. Thankfully, the invasion never came, and the forts, well, they were never really required as intended. The one in the middle, Spitbank, was originally the only one to be open to the public. At one point, it was an old nightclub. But that remained the case until 2009. In 2009, all 3 of those forts were bought by the former owner of Dreams the Bed Store. With his millions, he converted 2 of them into luxury hotels. This meant right up until the first lockdown, you could have spent the night out at either Spitbank Fort or No Man's Fort. Unfortunately, the forts have since closed and subsequently got put up for sale. They sold recently at auction for about £1 million each. Now finally, coming back inside the harbour entrance, on our right hand side is the area called Old Portsmouth, although it's often referred to as the Spice Island Inn. The Spice Island. Guess this town is where the first spices were brought into the country by a guy called Sir Walter Raleigh. On top you will see the Spice Island Inn, which is said to be one of Portsmouth's oldest pubs. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this does very nicely. I'll bring us up to the first of our 2 pick-up and drop-off points. Up ahead of us here is Gunwharf Quays, which is the big shopping centre here in Portsmouth. For those of you who joined us here at Gunwharf, this unfortunately marks the end of your tour thus today. For those who joined at the historic dockyard, however, you have a choice to make. You can either leave here at Gunwharf and head off and explore the 90 shops they have to offer, or you can remain on board and we'll take you back to the historic dockyard in a few minutes. Either way, we'd like to thank you for joining us today. We do hope you enjoyed yourselves, and if you haven't, if you wish, a small thank you can be left in the bucket as we leave the boat. On behalf of myself and the crew, thank you. Have a lovely rest of your day here in Portsmouth.
Well, today I would like to thank Captain Rees for allowing me to travel on the bridge of the Harbour Tour Gunwharf up at the Hard. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will leave the relevant details for this place in the description, so if you could give them a look, that would be great. Thank you.